This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Moscow named a new commander for its invasion of Ukraine, while Russian private military firm Wagner Group said its capture of the salt mining town Soda in eastern Ukraine was complete, though the Ukrainian military said the battle was not over. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu on Wednesday appointed Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov as overall commander for what Moscow calls its special military operation in Ukraine, now in its 11th month. The change effectively demoted General Sergei Surovikin, who was appointed only in October to lead the invasion and oversaw heavy attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Meanwhile, Yevgeny Prigozhin, head of Wagner and a close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin, said his forces had captured all of Soda and killed about 500 Ukrainian soldiers after heavy fighting. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told reporters on Wednesday he could not corroborate reports that Soda was in Russian hands. Donetsk Governor Pavlo Kyrylenko told Ukrainian state TV that 559 civilians remain in Soda, including 15 children, and it was impossible to evacuate them due to ongoing fighting. The town had a pre-war population of around 10,500. US Airlines said they expect operations to return to normal on Thursday as the Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) scrambles to pinpoint the cause of a computer outage that grounded flights nationally and to prevent it from happening again. More than 11,300 US flights were delayed or cancelled on Wednesday, according to FlightAware, in the first national grounding of domestic traffic in about 2 decades. Major carriers such as Delta Airlines, United Airlines, and Southwest Airlines said they expected normal operations on Thursday. The FAA computer failure prevented airports from filing updated safety notices that warn pilots of potential hazards such as runway closures, equipment outages, and construction, bringing flights to a temporary halt. FAA officials said a preliminary review traced the problem to a damaged database file, but added there was no evidence of a cyber attack and the investigation was continuing. The same file corrupted both the main system and its backup, said people familiar with the review who asked not to be identified. US Senate Commerce Committee Chair Maria Cantwell, a Democrat, said the panel would investigate. Republican Senator Ted Cruz called the failure completely unacceptable. More than half of Germany's companies are struggling to fill vacancies due to a lack of skilled workers, the German Chambers of Commerce and Industry (DIHK) said on Thursday, in the latest sign of growth headwinds affecting Europe's largest economy. The proportion of companies facing difficulties hiring was at its highest ever level in its survey of 22,000 companies, with 53% reporting shortages. In quote, "We can assume that some 2 million vacancies will remain unfilled." Achim Dirks, DIHK's deputy chief executive, said with the result that companies were foregoing nearly 100 billion euros worth of output. The labor market resilience did not mean companies were doing well. He added, staff shortages, high energy prices, and the shift towards climate neutrality were a dangerous mix that could lead firms to move production abroad. Workers with the relevant skills were growing ever scarcer, he said, including in the manufacturing sectors that are the engine room of the German exporting powerhouse. The survey found that 67% of electrical equipment manufacturers were unable to fill vacancies, and 67% of mechanical engineering companies. In car making, 65% of companies reported labor shortages. El Salvador, which became the first country in the world to recognize Bitcoin as a legal tender 2 years ago, has approved a law that would regulate the issuance of other digital assets by both the state and private entities. The bill, backed by ruling party lawmakers allied with President Nayib Bukele, aims to attract national and foreign investors while creating new financing opportunities for citizens, companies, and the government. The 47-article law received 62 votes in favor out of 64 seats in Congress on Wednesday. Public offerings may be made by issuers using existing digital assets with the opportunity to create new ones through them, the law indicates. The law also establishes the creation of the National Commission for Digital Assets and the Bitcoin Funds Administration Agency, which will be in charge of managing, safeguarding, and investing the funds from public offerings of digital assets carried out by the government. Australia's men's team has withdrawn from their one-day international ODI series against Afghanistan in March following further restrictions on women's and girls' rights imposed by the Taliban. Cricket Australia CA said on Thursday Afghanistan's Taliban-led administration last month imposed a ban on women attending universities. Girls have been banned from high school since March. They have also been excluded from parks and gyms. Australia and Afghanistan were scheduled to play 3 ODIs in the United Arab Emirates, but CA scrapped the series after extensive consultation with stakeholders, including the Australian government. The series formed part of the International Cricket Council's ICC Super League, where the top 8 teams automatically qualify for the 2023 World Cup. Australia have already qualified for the tournament. Australia was scheduled to play a test match against Afghanistan in November 2021, but the fixture was postponed after the Taliban seized power in August of that year. Afghanistan remains the only ICC full member nation without a women's team. They have continued to appear at ICC events since the Taliban takeover, however, and faced Australia during last year's T20 World Cup. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Thursday.